Hello everyone and welcome to Hull City transfer talk, the first of many of these which I'll do throughout the transfer window. Every Friday at about 8 PM, at 8:30, I will go for a walk somewhere and I will run you through all the transfer news that has happened in the last week regarding Hull City. Whether it be rumours, who we've brought in, who we've sold. If there's anything like that, there'll be news videos on that as soon as said thing happens. However, this will just be a short little roundup where I'll wander around for about 10-15 minutes. And yeah, I'll just run you through everything that's happened, if there's anything you've missed. And in case you don't believe me, I'll tell you all the sources as well. We have got the sun there. It is just setting, so it's going to be a bit hard for me to see where I am on the camera, but I think I can see it now. I'm just going to have a wander and talk to you a little bit. I've got everything written down on a notepad here, so we'll just crack straight into it. And we'll start off with the two players that we signed. We signed them today, in fact. I put two videos out earlier as news videos for both of those signings, and it's safe to say it's been a pretty successful day for Hull City. So first of all, brought in Lewie Coyle, brother of Hull boxer Tommy. Came through, well, this is Lewie now, not Tommy. Came through the Leeds United Academy and has been out on loan to Fleetwood, joined them permanently in January. He's had 3 separate loan spells there. And yeah, so he is now a Hull City player. He's come back to his hometown, and I think he will be our first choice right back for next season, because I think he's got more experience than Josh Emmanuel, who we've also signed, and he's a Hull lad. So Mccann will want to give him a chance. I've got to commend Grant Mccann today. Normally, I do nothing but slating, but today he's done very well with his transfer activity, knows where we needed to strengthen, and credit where credit's due, he's done it. Very pleased with Mccann. So yeah, Coyle from Fleetwood, full-back, he can play at left-back and in the centre of midfield as well. He's signed on a 3-year deal, with the option of a further year for the club, and it was for an undisclosed fee, which Fleetwood described as substantial. And that is reportedly, according to Hull Daily Mail, just let's see what I'm doing, there we go. It is reportedly, according to Hull Daily Mail, about 350k. So, Ehab, mate, you've got your chequebook out, haven't you? And since then, Ehab has been arrested for daylight robbery on Fleetwood. Nah, fantastic. From what I've heard from Fleetwood fans, he was absolutely fantastic for them. So I am personally extremely pleased with this signing. Sorry if the camera work is very shoddy. The sun is right in my face, and I cannot one bit see what I am doing. I'm in the shade now, so I can see a bit more. So that's Lewie Coyle in. Very pleased with that. Phil Buckingham on Twitter, Hull Daily Mail writer, journalist, has said he could see Coyle being a captain in the future. And maybe even this season. But we'll have to wait and see. So next up, Josh Emanuel, signing from Bolton on a free. Can play right back, also right mid and central midfield. He signed a 2-year deal with the option of a further year. From what I hear, Bolton fans were very upset when he left, because he was a fantastic little player for them, considering his age and his lack of experience. But he was pretty okay for them, according to what they said. Yeah, 2-year deal, option of a further year, free transfer after his contract expired at the University of Bolton Stadium. I certainly won't turn my nose up at that. So we've strengthened an area which we needed to strengthen after losing after losing Lehigh and also Robbie McKenzie. And also the other day, Robbie McKenzie liked an "I'm out" tweet. What a man. We should never let him go. Why did we let him go? Next up, got an update on Angus MacDonald's contract, which still hasn't been renewed. I think the negotiations are taking a little bit of a while, but Angus, if de Wijs leaves, is another candidate for the captaincy. Because seriously, when he came in last season, well, at the end of last season, after the restart, having played no games in about 22 months, came in and looked on it straight away. And I would personally love Angus, because there's a reason why Nigel Adkins made him vice-captain. There's a reason Adkins brought him in, and he's showing why now. First part of the season was extremely extreme. Well, his first season for us, first half season when he joined from Barnsley, he was extremely poor. Didn't think much to him at all. But I think he is exactly what Hull City need right now. So, Angus, if it were me, mate, I'd be sticking around. I was going to say I'd offer you as much money as you want. However, we don't know what implications the salary cap for League 1 and 2 will have on Hull City. The salary cap for League 1, which has just been brought in today as well, is £2.5 million. So I'm not sure what implications that'll have. Obviously every player will have taken a wage cut, having been relegated. That's why Stewart and Torra left. De Wijs will want paying more than what the salary cap will allow him, so I can see De Wijs leaving. Talking of Jordy de Wijs, according to a newspaper in his native of the Netherlands, he is being targeted by LA Galaxy. And I think that if the club, if Galaxy put the right money in, the Alams may let him leave. So that's according to De Telegraaf in Holland. I mean, De Wijs, him and Burke were fantastic together under Adkins. Tommy Elphick, when he came in, really brought him on. And as much as I didn't rate Liam Ridgewell, I think he'll have done a lot for De Wijs's leadership capabilities too. But we don't know how effective Ridgewell was, but we know that Elphick made a massive difference to De Wijs. You could tell just playing alongside him, he looked so much more confident because he was getting to know the English game, and he was certainly, by the end of the season with Adkins, right on the money where we needed him to be. But this season under Mccann and Byrne, I think the partnership of him and Reece Burke has taken a little step back. Just don't think they were the same level that they were, and that was evident because they were the defensive partnership when we got beat 8-0. But yeah, give them. I'd like De Wijs to stay. He'd have had a very short stint as captain. But you know what, Jordy, fair play to him if he goes. He has deleted all of his Hull City related Instagram posts. In fact, the only football post left of him is his post to PSV when he left, saying thank you and whatever. Anyway, that's De Wijs. If he leaves, he leaves. That's another captain gone, and we've lacked a really competent captain since Dawson left, because Henriksen was moved on after a year with Adkins, and Henriksen cared, he had passion for the club, he was a right person to have that role, but Mccann gave it to Lehigh and then the club just tossed him out like an old boot. So that's fun. Anyway, next up, Leora Silva. According to Football Insider, Leora Silva is attracting interest from two of the newly promoted clubs, Leeds and West Brom. I did not think I'd be saying that. According to Football Insider, for both of these rumours, West Brom and Leeds want him. Fair play if he goes. Absolutely fair play if he goes. Obviously, De Silva's a fantastic player. Other than Bowen, I'd say he's our player of the season. I'd have said George Long was up there as well, but he's got the worst defensive record of a goalkeeper ever in the Championship. So I think that one is flushed right down the toilet. Anyway, nothing else has developed from that. It's just whether West Brom and Leeds do put bids in. And if they do, I can't see Hull City saying no. De Silva deserves a move. He shouldn't be a League One player. But if he doesn't move on, I will certainly be a very, very happy ginger boy. Anyway, next up, Malik Wilkes. Now this one, it shocked me when I read this. According to Football Insider, Fulham, Bournemouth and Stoke were all interested in Malik Wilkes. We're just going to take a little sit down for a moment. Stoke, Fulham and Bournemouth all interested in Malik Wilkes. Then according to EFL Hub, another reliable source within the EFL, Stoke put in a bid of around 1.4 to 1.5 million. Hull City rejected that. So Mallik, we've rejected a bid for him. I'd find it bizarre if Mallik left, considering he's only been here permanently since July. But also, again, I wouldn't blame him if he left, but I just think it would be very sly if he did leave. But yeah, if Mallik goes, fair play to him, fair play. So that's Wilkes. That's the last of the exports from the club. Now we're on to who could potentially be coming in, and there's quite a few here to talk about, so I best get walking. So Lee Brown from Portsmouth. He's a right back predominantly, I believe, but could also play left back, or he might be a left back that can also play right back. I don't know why we'd need a left back, because we've got Elder and we've got Fleming. Unless one of those goes, which I don't see happening, then at that point I could see, okay, might need to replace him, because we've not got Kingsley anymore, have we? And there's a bug on my leg. Go away. There we go. That's according to the Portsmouth News. So, if we could get Lee Brown, I don't think we particularly need him now, because we're pretty stacked again in the wide defensive areas, but certainly wouldn't say no to that. Next up then, Kyle Dempsey. Kyle Dempsey, according to EFL Hub, not only us, but Sunderland, Bristol Rovers, MK Dons and Peterborough are all interested. He was on loan at Peterborough for the second half of last season, ex-Huddersfield, I believe, and he has just left Fleetwood after his contract expired. So I actually wouldn't mind bringing Dempsey in, because if De Silva leaves, as we expect him to, and also if Honeyman leaves, because people are ignoring this, Honeyman left Sunderland when because they were in League One for a second season. That's his boyhood club. I personally don't see him sticking around here if we're in League One. That would leave us, having got rid of Stewart and Torral, that would leave us with only Max Sheaf and Elliot Bonds as players who have featured for the first team before. Max Sheaf came on as a substitute in the final game of the 2018-19 season against Bristol City. Wasn't too bad. And Bonds has been on the bench a lot this season, and Mccann rates him. And I think Elliot is a fantastic little player. He's already a Guyana international, having, because they're not the most stacked of good players, are they, Guyana? But Elliot, playing under 23s football in England, he's one of their better players, I believe. And he's done pretty well in terms of getting an international cap at quite a young age. I'm not sure how old Elliot Bonds is, but I know that Max Sheaf is only about 19, 20. So, certainly wouldn't mind getting another centre midfielder, because we're not as well equipped as we were this time last year. In terms of central midfield, we still had Henriksen then, we had Honeyman, we had Toral, you know, we had a lot of depth. Now we've got 4 players, and if one of them leaves, if Mccann wants to play his system, he's got the square root of nobody else as backup. So Dempsey, I'd like to see him come in, to be fair. Wouldn't be a bad little signing for us, I think. Is this the final? Yeah, this is the final rumour. Mark Duffy. According to Transfer Centre, this was about a week ago. He agreed a 2-year deal with Hull City. 34-year-old Irish winger just left Sheffield United after his contract expired. Was at Stoke last season, but didn't play under Michael O'Neill. Played a little bit under Nathan Jones. So then was sent out to ADO Den Haag in the Netherlands with Alan Pardew, which, safe to say, didn't end too well for him. I believe he played 6 games, no goal contributions, and this source is very unreliable, so it's probably absolute rubbish. And we'll end it on that. Yeah, so that's it for the first episode of Hull City Transfer Talk. I was going to do this daily, but I thought it would be harder to do it daily, so I'm going to do it weekly instead. It'll be a weekly roundup for you lot. And yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. This has been Hull City Transfer Talk for Friday the 7th of August, and I'll see you next Friday for another episode of Hull City Transfer Talk. Just as I'm getting to the gate to leave this field. Bye bye.